Welcome to this new video. We are going to go through 198 house robber. So basically here you have a scenario where you want to rob the maximum of money you can have, given a condition that you can't rob two houses consecutively. So you can't rob 1 and 2, you can't rob 2 and 3, but you can rob 1 and 3. So your goal here is to find the maximum amount you can have from robbing with the maximum strategy that you can get. Let us take this one for instance. If I have this schedule, for instance, I can rob the first one and rob this one, which will give you a total of 4. Or I can rob this one and this one, which will give me a total of 4. Any other combination here will not give me 4. So 4 is the maximum. The same here, if I want to have the maximum amount, I can rob this and this. So giving those approaches, like giving those examples, what will be our approach of solving this? So to solve this, we are going to create like a vector, like a matrix of 3 column, of 3 row and for each of the row we are going to say, okay, this is the value, like the maximum value that I will have if I don't rob the element at this position. This is the value that I will have if I rob the element at this position, and this is the solution of this step. And while moving forward, at the end of the day, we are going to have the solution of the last step, which we are going to return. Okay, so let's start with our base case. That means this is the initial value we are going to put. If I don't rob the first one, I will go empty, like 0. If I rob the first one, I will go with 1. So the solution is going with 1, like robbing the first one. Now for the second one, I need to think, if I don't rob the first one, what will be my strategy? If I don't rob the first one, that means I will go with the solution of 1. Don't robbing an element is going with the solution of the previous one. So I'll just go like don't robbing, this will be just this. Now robbing an element is actually taking the value of that element, right, plus not robbing the previous one, because you can't rob 2 consecutively. So it's the 2 plus 0, which will actually give me 2, and then I will end up with 1 or 2, which is 2. So if you were to stop here, the value to return will be 2. Let's continue. For the third one, if I don't rob the third one, I'm going to go with 2, which is the value of not robbing the third one, which is 2. If I want to rob the first one, I'm going to have the 3, which is robbing the first one, plus the cost of not robbing the previous one, which is actually 1, and this will give you 4. And then I will take the solution of 4, because I have either 2 or 4. So if I don't rob this one, I will go with the solution of 4, right? Now if I want to rob this one, I'm going to go with the solution of not robbing the previous one, which is 2, plus the solution of the value here, which is 1. So this will give you 3, and then here you are going to end up with a 4 here. So you do agree with me here that this is actually the solution, and you can do the same thing here. If you want to do the same thing here, the initial value is actually 0, 2, and then 2. So we are going to go, okay, let me take something which is not that thick. Okay, if I don't rob the first one, what will be my value? My value will be 2. If I decide to rob the first one, what will be my value? My value will be 1. And then the end of the day, I'm going to go with 2, because I want the maximum. If I don't rob the first one, I'm going to go with a value of 2. But if I decide to rob it, I'm going to go with a value of 3, which will be actually the value here plus not robbing the previous one. So I end up here with 3. So yeah, if I decide to do not rob this one, I'm going with a value of if I decide to do not rob this one, I'm going to the value of 3. And if I decide to rob this one, I'm going to the value of 2, which is the value here, plus the previous 2, which is 2, and I'm going to end up with a 4. This is 4 actually. So I'm going to end up with a 3 or 4, which is 4. So that's why here I am ending up with a 4, which is this value, and the same here, that's why I have a 4 here, which is this value. So now that the process has been described properly, how do we code it? We are going to just code exactly what we described. So for the code, we are going to have our base case. We are first going to have our vector of 3 column, of 3 row. Once we have the vector of 3 row, we are going to initialize our vector. The first one is going to take 0, like we are doing here. The first one 0. The second one is going to take the value of the first element, and this last one is going to take the value of the first element, which is this. Now we are going to say, we don't even need this. This was the test I was doing. Now we are going to say, okay, the one at position 0 will take the solution of the previous one, which is the element 2. Don't forget that 1 is done taking, 0 is not taking, 1 is taking, and last is the solution. So the first one is going, not taking this one is actually the solution of the previous one, I minus 1, and now taking it is actually the value of not taking the previous one plus the value of the element, and then now the solution is actually the maximum of the two, and at the end just return the solution of the last one. So if you run it, we are going to see that it is working pretty well. Yeah, you can see it is working pretty well. So this was my approach of solving this. I hope you do enjoy it. Feel free to give me any input. I'll be really happy to interact with you regarding this. See you on the next video. Ciao.